rather than using the term main gain, which has been very confusing for a lot of people because I clearly explained it wrong, let's consider the new term main bulking or bulktaining. Healthy body fat. Coach Greg from Mexico, and in today's video, I gotta come clean. I've explained Maingaining in the past incorrectly, and if I can't explain it so that people understand it, that's on me. So I clearly have not done a good job of this. So I've screwed up, I've messed up, and a lot of people don't get it and have been confused by it. And the last thing I want is for people to not understand what I'm explaining or to possibly do harm to people. Some people thought that Maingaining meant that you should be shredded, like lean, under 10% body fat, and then just build muscle from there. And they were failing to gain muscle, causing problems. This is the last thing I want. Today, I'm hoping to clear it up, and I'm gonna take down the videos that don't make sense. Maingaining, it wasn't something I thought would just be a thing. I just wanted to go against bulking and cutting. So all I was trying to do was to prevent problems from bulking and cutting. I don't think bulking and cutting is the right way to do this, okay? You're trying to build muscle. Everyone that's working out is trying to build muscle. And the problem for me is a lot of people think that you need this excess calorie intake, that you have to somehow be eating a ton of calories, eat big to get big and force feed and all this stuff. And I'm against that. And so I tried to explain it so that people would not need to do that. A lot of people say, well, don't just bulk. Bulk, let's just say, is a big calorie surplus, 500 plus, bulk. You get a lot of fat while you're doing this and you have to cut. Don't like that. I don't like the fluctuating up and down, okay? Lean bulking. People are saying, well, it's lean bulking. Maingaining is lean bulking. And see, here's the thing. Lean bulking to me is still bulking. When you lean bulk, you're in enough of a calorie surplus that you're still putting on unwanted body fat. You're still going to have to do, let's call it a mini cut. So people who are lean bulking are eating an excess number of calories, but eventually that's gonna have to come to an end because they're getting too much fat and they're gonna have to at least do a mini cut or some kind of a cut sometime when you're in a deficit. I don't like to have people be eating too much and then eating little. Even if it's a mini cut, I don't want people to have to do a mini cut, even if it's 4 weeks. I just don't want that. I want people to be able to just eat, to just see food as food, trying to prevent the diets. When you're overweight or obese, which is what most people are in this world, unfortunately, I don't make the rules. I didn't make it so that it's not healthy to have 25% body fat as a man or 40% body fat a woman. I didn't make that. If I could rewrite the rules, I would say, hey, as much fat as you want, the more the better. Awesome, 50% body fat, you're healthy. But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. If you look at blood work and longevity studies, people who are more overweight, they just don't live as long. So unfortunately, the problem is we want to have a lot of muscle, but we want to be healthy. And if you have too much body fat, you're not healthy. So people think, well, lean bulking is the answer. Just go on a 300 to 500 calorie surplus, and that's the answer. You'll hardly gain any body fat at all. The problem is it's not true. If it was true, I would tell you. If you're eating 300 to 500 calories a day, surplus, for months, you are going to gain a significant amount of fat. I wish all this extra calories just magically went into building muscle, but it's not the case. To build 1 pound of muscle, including the calories, the energy expenditure, everything that goes into 1 pound of muscle, only 2,750 calories. Average person, maybe they're gaining, say, 4 pounds of muscle in a year. You're thinking, oh, that's not it. No, most gain more. Newbies, their first year perhaps, if they have really good genetics. But consider, I gained maybe 30 pounds of muscle in 10 years. I have really good genetics. I didn't put on 10, 20 pounds of muscle a year. It just didn't happen. If you're on steroids, probably gonna gain quicker. Probably could get away with eating 300 to 500 calories because you're on steroids. You're building a ton of muscle. Chris Bumstead is gonna put on 30 pounds of muscle in like 8 months. He can handle 300 to 500 calorie surplus. He's also freaking shredded all the time. So he has no problems with that. And so if you average out building 4 pounds of muscle in a year, it's probably gonna be around 30 calorie overall surplus per day, roughly. Problem is, it's really impossible to track that accurately. Even if you say, well, it's 100 calorie surplus, 150 calorie surplus, 280 calorie surplus. It is impossible to accurately calculate those kind of calorie needs. It is. I've coached thousands of people. None of them have an exact calorie balance per day. Zero. If you have, let me know. Write in the comment section, Coach Greg, you gave me a plan and it was exactly this many calories. It doesn't exist. I would know I wrote the freaking plans. So what do I give? I give a range of calories. So for example, if I believe that somebody needs about 2,300 calories for whatever the purpose is, to cut, bulk, maintain, whatever the heck the purpose is, I give them a range. If they're at 2,300, it's probably gonna range somewhere from 2,000 to 2,600. That is a large range. On some days, you're gonna eat 2,000 calories. Some days, you're gonna eat 2,600 calories. Some days, 2,300, 22, 24. It balances out at the end of the week, month, year. Not all days are gonna be the same. And even if you could track meticulously down to the exact calorie, you have the exact calorie tracker. You can look at food and you know 183 calories in that portion. Even if you could do that, how do you know your expenditure for the day? How do you calculate NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis? Can you actually do that? Nope. You could go and bike ride. During my 1 hour bike ride this morning, it said 900 calories. Is that exactly how many I burned? Maybe it was 920, maybe it was 880, we could have been off. So it's impossible to track that accurately. But you know what you can do? You can do the best you can. You can do the best you can. You can track so that you know roughly how much you're eating. The average person underreports how many calories they're actually taking by 30%. So if you think you need 2,500 calories for your maintenance, and you're trying to lean bulk, and you eat, and you say, I'm just gonna eat 2,700, 200 calories a day. You might think that you're doing a good job of it, but you're probably not. You might be eating 4,000, you don't know. And maybe one day you're doing more activity than another. You slept longer, you didn't sleep as long, you did more walking, you fidgeted more, you drove more, you walked more, you raked leaves on the garden, you planted flowers more, you ate and chewed more, you shook your hands in a video more. You can't actually track that. But what you can do is look in the mirror every so often, once a day in the morning, once a week in the morning. You look and you say, do I like what I see? Am I happy with my body fat and am I healthy? I do not preach being excessively shredded and maintaining. Never done that. If you're as lean as Tristan Lee, Athlete X, you're probably too lean. Even if you're as lean as Coach Greg, under 10% body fat, for most people, that is too lean. And what is healthy? I say 15% for men, 25% for women. What is healthy? It depends on the person. Not everyone can maintain that lean. Some people are born with extra fat cells and they just can't stay shredded. It's just too hard for them. They have to be heavier. Maybe it's 20% for men, 30% for women. It's not always going to be that case. You only know, do you have energy to train? Do you feel good in the gym? Are you sleeping right? Do you have a good sex drive? Is everything functioning at the level that you want it to be? If it is, keep doing what you're doing. If you're eating 1,000 calories and you feel good and your body fat is 15%, eat 1,000. If you're eating 19,000 and you look good and feel good, eat 19,000. And if you're maintaining and all of a sudden every week you're like, well, geez, I'm getting a bit more fat. I've gone up, I'm gaining fat, eat a bit less. Does that seem confusing? You're getting leaner, too lean, you're losing energy? Eat a bit more. A bit more. If you've been tracking 2,700 calories a day and you're losing body fat and you're too lean now, eat more. Up it a bit. Check in the mirror. Immediate feedback. Is the scale going up too quickly? You know you're not putting on 5 pounds of muscle a week. If you're gaining 5 pounds in a week, something probably happened. Might be water, of course, but just make sure you're not gaining too quickly. And so rather than using the term main gain, which has been very confusing for a lot of people because I clearly explained it wrong, let's consider the new term main bulking or bulktaining. Pick the one you want. What does that mean? Bulktaining. You're maintaining your body fat percentage, but you're bulking up slowly, putting on muscle. You need a little bit of a surplus, obviously. Not a lot, not enough to track, but just eat a little bit more than you can maintain. And no one knows that exact calorie range. It's useless to even think, I'm gonna add 30, 60, 90, 120 calories a day to bulktain. Look in the mirror and just eat. And so in the past, I overstretched what maintaining meant, and I wanted to make it more applicable to everyone so that they would all understand. And I was saying, you can keep your weight the same and slowly drop your body fat and build muscle. At the same time, I wanted just people a way to just understand what to do. so that you don't always have to think, I have to bulk or cut, okay? I'm against bulking and cutting. Not for everyone. If you're a bodybuilder, you have no choice because bodybuilding is not healthy. Have you ever looked at what a bodybuilder does? Most of them using PDs, most cutting to close to 5% body fat, which is not healthy. And so if you are down to 5% body fat, you best be bulking because you're not gonna be healthy at 5%. So bodybuilders go up and down, 15% down to 5, back to 15, down to 5, back and forth, back and forth. And so everyone's thinking bulking and cutting is the way because that's what the Mr. Olympia competitors are doing. That's what Chris Bumstead is doing. Look at him, he's bulking and cutting year after year, and he's a Mr. Olympia. Greg, you yourself bulked and cut your entire life. How can you go against it now? I did that because I was a competitive bodybuilder, and when I'm at 5% body fat, I hate my life. I look great, but I hate life. Everything is a nightmare, it's miserable. So you have to up your body fat to a point that makes sense. If you're at 5%, it doesn't make sense. Now I find I can function very well, 9, 10% body fat, no problem. When I was younger, natural, it was closer to 12 to 15% body fat in off season that I felt good at, that I could gain muscle at. Now, if you're overweight like most people on this earth, you're already bulked. You're already fat, as in you can't see any of your abs as a male. You can't even see the outline of your abs. The chances are very high that you're overweight, AKA fat, AKA obese. Choose the words you want. You're plump. It's not my fault. Look up the definitions. Am I going to cause body dysmorphia by telling people that if you're overweight or obese, that you're already bulked and you're fat? Maybe, maybe not. If you can't handle one person in your life saying that you're fat and you develop an eating disorder because of it, the problem isn't that one person saying you're fat, it's on you. If you let what people say to you affect you that greatly that you develop an eating disorder because somebody says you're fat when you're obese, they didn't use the proper term. They should have just said I'm pleasantly overchubbed. So if you're overweight, this is what you got to do. Small deficit, tiny, little bit. I've done a number of videos explaining what you could do, just switching out from regular Coke to a Diet Coke. Little tiny changes, using less cooking oil. Maybe having less whole eggs, little things, and you slowly get into a deficit and you lower your body fat until you feel healthy and that your body fat is in that healthy range for you. Then you main gain or main bulk or bulk-tain, whatever the heck you want to call it. Don't call it anything. You live your life, not stressed out about food, and you just friggin' eat to be healthy. You know what you do. I've made 1,000+ videos. You watch some of these videos, you get my friggin' cookbooks and be healthy. That's what I'm trying to promote. Not trying to promote hate, arguments, fights, people having eating disorders. Trying to promote health. And overall, I think I've done more good than bad. So most people are already overweight or obese and would benefit from cutting slowly until they're healthy and then maintaining, bulk-taining, whatever. And the other people who are too lean, for example, Tristan Lee, who's recently made videos expressing how he was too lean for 2 years and how it practically ruined his life, suffering to that extent. He would benefit from gaining weight, going on a bulk, a lean bulk, whatever you want to call it, a calorie surplus to allow his body fat levels to rise until he's healthy again. Maybe it's 8% he's healthy, maybe it's 10, maybe it's 12, maybe it's 15. It depends on your genetics. Somebody else, Athlete X, extremely shredded, probably would gain more muscle if he gained a couple percentages of body fat. Doesn't need to, it's his life, he can do what he wants with his body. He looks amazing, but does he need to be that lean? No. So am I promoting people to be shredded and try to build muscle? No. Promoting people to be healthy body fat percentage. If you're already at a healthy body fat percentage, let's call it 15% for men here, okay? You just main gain. What does that mean? It means you maintain that body fat percentage where it is because it's great. Why ruin it? You're already healthy. Why eat too many calories and go up to 20%? Then you have to cut back to 15. Why do that when 15 is amazing? And you're thinking, no, but that doesn't maximize it. You have to always be in a calorie surplus. What happens when you're at 20% and then you cut for a month? You're gonna always be in a deficit. Versus Maingaining, you're always at a calorie level that's sufficient enough to build muscle. And just because you think, well, I'm in a 300 calorie surplus, so I'm always in a constant state of hypertrophy. I'm always building muscle. No, you're not. You think when you stopped eating at 8 o'clock at night and you eat breakfast at 8 that you were in a surplus all night? During the night, you probably were in a surplus at the start, and then when you probably woke up, you were in a deficit. The body is not always building muscle 24/7. There's times in a day when you're catabolic and there's times when you're anabolic. When you go in the gym and you do a bunch of bicep curls, you're tearing down the muscle, it's catabolic. Then it builds muscle after. And even if you're in a 300 calorie surplus, there's times in the day that you're not always in a surplus. After you eat, probably in a surplus. Before your next meal, probably in a deficit. It overall works out that so that most of the time you're in a surplus and you build muscle. There's times in a day when you're in a surplus and times in a deficit, but overall that's okay, that's normal. You can still build muscle. It doesn't work out better to bulk and cut than to keep your body fat the same while building muscle. Yeah, if you're always in a surplus, 500 calories a day or more, likely gonna build more muscle. But eventually you're going to be on a cut, constantly cutting, and at that point, you're probably gonna lose some muscle, or at best, maintain it. So if you gain 5 pounds of muscle on a bulk, and then you cut for a couple months and lose it, you might be at 4 pounds. The other person that's maingaining, maybe they only gain 3 pounds of muscle while you gain 5 in the bulk. But then they're on a cut, and guess what? You're not. You're still maingaining. So they have to slow down their muscle gain or perhaps lose some, and you're still maingaining. So your trajectory is a slower rise, but it's constant for years. There is up and down or up and straight. You see the difference? That is why I'm saying to maingain. It allows you to always look pretty damn good and build muscle, feel good, and not have to deal with, yeah, I'm feeling sloppy now, and for the next 2 months, I have to get sloppier. And then, well, summer's coming around, I'll cut then, I'll look better then. Why not just be healthy all the time? I would rather people always be healthy than to fluctuate up and down. And so in the end, I just want people to do things that are healthy. I want them to be at a healthy weight, put on muscle. It's not about winning for me, it's about getting it right. I tried to stretch maingaining to be too all-encompassing and it didn't work. Too many people were confused, I just didn't explain it right. I'm hoping that this can make up for it, that this makes more sense, that you understand why I don't like to bulk and cut and why I preach to maingain or bulk-tain or main bulk, whatever you want to call it. It's all about being healthy and keeping your body fat at a healthy, can I stress this one more time? Healthy body fat. You want to get into fitness to be healthy. Yeah, we love the aesthetics and everything, but it's all about being healthy, healthy above everything. If you're healthy, then you're going to look aesthetic. If you're not healthy, you're overweight, probably not as aesthetic. And so rather than confusing everyone with anything, we're going to take some of these videos down that are confusing people, that are getting people to not understand the principles, because in the end, I just want you to understand why I don't believe you need to bulk and cut. And if you think that lean bulking is the way, just do your thing. Just do what you want. Do what makes you happy. This is what I preach for me. This is what I coach. Other people are going to do things differently. I'm going to end the video here. Most people can only tune in and listen to me for 10 minutes. They get bored and tune out. So hopefully you can stick around for this video. You liked it. Makes sense. Let me know in the comments section which videos in particular that you're thinking it doesn't make sense or that are more confusing, so that I can take them down or watch them again and see like where was the confusion, so that we can work together to help everyone understand this concept. Ending it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching. Greg Doucette IBB Pro. Let's see some of these bloops over there. Watch, at least one of the two. You don't need to watch both. Watch one. Buy the supplements. Buy the cookbooks, the Circle Diet book to really hit it home on how to lose weight, keep it off for the rest of your life. You can get coaching plans by me and my team, phone consults, name it. Subscribe, click the bell button, and until next time, I am out.